Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am working with the February Dreams Etc. box, and I did make this altered paintbrush in my live last week, and that was a project that was from Dreams Etc. And then, so now I have the box kind of totally deconstructed. It's in here in parts and pieces. But if you want to see everything that came in the box, I did do an unboxing on my channel, and it's much shorter and it goes through everything that came in the box. These are some printables that I've had for years in my stash from Dreams Etc. These are what she calls easy cuts, and they're amazing. I love them so much. This kit right here came in the last box, and I really wanted to use it. The Fairy Wishes, I don't think is out yet on Dreams Etc. for this month's, but it's going to have a bunch of fairies and it's going to be magical. I just know it. But I never did get to use last month's printable, so that's what I'm going to use today. And I'm going to make 5 cards with you guys. And I know y'all probably already saw how long this video is. This is one of those videos where you grab a snack, grab a drink, maybe it's the end of your day, it's time to relax, unwind, and just drift off into card making sleep by the sound of my voice. But I've got a lot of fun to show you. So I cut those images down, and then I went through my paper. One of the things that I discussed in the unboxing is how much I love that Jen has already cut our paper. She's already cut all the gorgeous paper, so we automatically get over that. We don't have a bunch of 12 by 12 sheets that we don't want to cut up. And the sizes are perfect for card makers. I mean, they're great for junk journalers too, don't get me wrong. I mean, as a junk journaler, I feel like I can use anything. As a card maker, sometimes I think it's actually it's a little different. So basically I went through and measured, and sure enough, you can make slimline cards, you can make 5 by 7, you can make 6 by 6, you can make A2. There's a lot that these cuts would cover. So I grabbed some out, and the first card I'm going to make with you today is a 5 by 7. This is a card where I wanted to keep it simple. I'm just getting started, and I just wanted to make a quick and simple card. The paper is so gorgeous. I mean, what do you really need to do to it? I like roughing up the edges personally, so I'm going to rough up the edges. I really like the dimension that can add to a card all by itself without foam tape, cardboard, or anything else. So I distressed the edges with my scissors, and now I'm going to kind of go through my ephemera and start figuring out a few little layers. I'm going to keep it simple. So I grabbed this magical sentiment, I grabbed a flower and a little ornate corner to put on the card. And I liked the flower, but I didn't want pink. I wanted purple. I wanted to stay within the colors on the card. I mean, the card is very muted, but it had very soft, like lilac colors. So I colored up my flower to match with my purple alcohol markers, and then I also brought in my gold gel pen for the little tiny petals around the center. And I think that matches so much better for the paper that I wanted to put it on. So, you can alter your paper flowers, the colors of them. Now, I decided I also wanted to use those same markers and go ahead and color up the butterfly, make it a little more pronounced. It didn't change it a ton, but I did just want to add a little bit of color to it, and I also used my gold gel pen on that as well. So this video, making these cards was a lot of fun. I kind of just did whatever came to mind. One thing that's brand new sitting on my desk is this Deco gel. It's a foiling adhesive, and I had not used it before. I bought it to use with stencils, but here I'm just playing around and smushing it on my paper. So basically with foiling glues, they remain tacky when they're dry, like super tacky. And that way you can take foil sheets, lay them on top, and it adheres to the glue. So that's the difference between like one of these, which I have another glue I'll share in this video, between it and regular glue. If you only have regular glue, I've had great success letting it partially dry and then use my foiling. But, because I like this technique so much, I have gone ahead and made the investment in the actual foil glues. As I was saying, this video has just a little bit of everything in it. I thought I could edit this down and make it so much shorter, but then there's so much that you guys would miss in my card making. I mean, maybe. There's a lot of process that would be left out. Let's just say that. So I popped up my sentiment and glued down my flower and my corners. And I mean, this is pretty much our card, you guys. Very simple, very basic, very beautiful. Of course, I could have put more layers of ephemera on it. I could have maybe stitched around it, added a lace ruffle or lace somewhere. But again, I just wanted one simple one for the stack. So here it is. And again, this is a 5x7. Look at the back of that paper. Yes, it's hard sometimes to glue down such beautiful paper. But the front was the winner for me in this composition. Isn't it lovely? Let's move on. Let's do the inside. So I had accidentally, I don't know how, but the inside of my paper was a little mucky. So I always like to decorate the inside of my cards anyways. This was a scrap that I had cut off of that front panel. So I'm going to use it. And then there was a piece of ephemera that just kind of perfectly covered up those marks. And I'm going to use that as well. You guys, my desk kind of remains a mess in this video, so I'm sorry if that bothers you, but I have a very open workflow when I'm doing these kinds of things, and I just don't get fussy about things. You're here to watch a craft channel, right? And crafting is a mess. At least the way I do it, it is. Okay, now y'all know I've told you this so many times, but sometimes when I do cards like this, I like to lay out multiple card fronts at once and do multiple cards at once. And I had really liked these tags that came in the kit. They were part of the cardstock. But I thought they were beautiful, and I thought they would go really well with those little squared portraits of the girls. So I picked out portraits that matched in color theme, which was remarkably easy to do. And then I picked out some background papers, and now I'm just layering again with ephemera to kind of fill things in. And this is real typical of my process in the way, like, sometimes I'll get real focused on one and I'll go ahead and I'll get it to this point. I'll get real focused on one, I'll finish up one, and then I'll just finish up the second one. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm going to focus on the card on the left first and get everything where I want it, and then put it all together. And then the second one will go even easier. One of the things I wanted to do was something that y'all see me do a lot as well, which I'm using lunar paste. This is silver lining, and I am just putting it around the edges. I liked the idea of a soft silver for these because usually I'll use gold, y'all know me, but I don't know. I liked the softness of the silver, but it's also has a sheen. It's metallic and beautiful. So when the light hits it, it definitely catches the eye. I had cut these bases down to 4x6, and I am going to put them on a 5x7 card. But first, I was playing with all these roses, and I had to go pick one out of our garden. Now, it's a very rainy day. This is a brand new rose to our collection. We have like 15 different rose plants. We just got this one this weekend. It's called an Oklahoma rose. Isn't it gorgeous? And look, a little ladybug came in with the rose. So don't worry. I paused. I captured her safely, took her back out, put her back with the roses, and everything was fine. Now, water did drip all over my cards, but it's okay. It's just a little rain. I just had to show y'all that. Like, I love the way all the tips of the petals go into a point on that rose. It's just exquisite. I'm so delighted that it's growing in my yard. You guys, we do have like 15 different rose plants along with a lot of others, and I love having like fresh cut flowers. And I live in Central Texas, so we kind of have fresh cut roses almost all year. There's only a couple of months in winter that we don't have roses. Otherwise, we do. And it's funny because Dr. Shrub and I are noticing lots of people are planting them. Like, they just do well in our area. So I did use cardboard to pop up that focal point. I love that girl looking up at the butterfly. And I did decide to go ahead, especially because I had gotten that page. I had already planned on using the ephemera, but then when the rainwater dripped on the butterfly there, you can tell it kind of distorted it. So no big deal. I already had a plan to cover that up anyways. But I just wanted a slightly larger butterfly, and I wanted more dimension and interest. So that's why I was adding that to the card. I glued my flower down to the base on this one first, and then now I can glue down this piece. With pieces that I'm not planning on putting in the mail, if I like them very dimensional, which sometimes I do, I'll use cardboard instead of foam tape. It's in an abundance around here because of Amazon Prime. And so why not use it? It's got to be more earth friendly than foam tape. And I'm not hating on foam tape. I use it all the time. I'm going to use it a lot more in this video. But at least it's one thing I can do to reuse things. I have my thrift store twine here that I love and adore, and I'm going to put that in along with my pick. This is from my friend Gloria Wolf. She gave me a glue topper and this pick, and I just love them. Thank you, Gloria. So yeah, I'm just going to add this twine. I'm not even really making bows of it. I'm just kind of looping it up and then pressing it into the glue, holding it for a second, and it'll be totally fine. This is my favorite Lineco PVA glue. It holds everything. It's amazing. That's why it's my favorite, and it's inexpensive. It's just amazing. Okay, back to this card. This is basically the same design. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you find something that you like, make two. Because if you're anything like me, you'll want two of them. So, when you're making your cards, maybe you stumble upon a design you like, go ahead and make a couple. You'll be happy you did later. With these sentiments, I did just kind of trim around the edges. Totally unnecessary. It's just what I wanted to do. And I will pop this up with foam tape. So, I just love this. Fairy wishes, and we've got, all the flowers and the butterflies. It's just sweet. I'm going to pop that one up with cardboard as well. And this time I'm going to double up on my cardboard. I'm going to cut little squares of it. Just 2 little squares real quick. And I'm going to use this to pop up my flower, because on this card I wanted my flower above that focal point. So I just cut 2 small squares, glued them together, glued the flower on it, glued it to the card. And I will also then hold this in place, because it was a little tall, with my clip and get it just right. So persnickety. You just have an idea about things sometimes and got to make it happen. I'm doing the same loop-de-loop here and just adding it to different places in the card. I really like what that adds to cards very much. So if you guys haven't heard, Dreams Etc. is just a wonderful shop. And if you like images like this, you like vintage or just really kind of ethereal, beautiful, mixed media stuff, you've got to go check it out. She has a lot of stamp sets from different companies. She makes her own, she designs the most gorgeous printables and has these subscription boxes. But, you know, if the subscription box is just either out of your budget or you just don't need that much more in your craft room, consider the printables because they're very affordable and they're gorgeous, and you can get similar results to these just using the printables. That's why I showed you the easy cuts with the flowers and everything today, because it's just gorgeous ephemera basically. All right, so as I said, those were 4x6, and now I've taken this 20-pound weight paper. It's in an ivory color, and crumpled it up. And now I'm going to cut this down to 4.5 by 6.5. So this is going to be my mat for these two cards. And I'm cutting 2 sheets of paper at once because it's 20 pounds. That's easy. My trimmer can handle that. Crumpling it up a little more. You can tear the edges. I think I only tore the edges on one, but I do love that look when they're kind of bent and torn and very distressed. So for me, that was just exactly what this card needed. I love a card with a wide border, but different cards just have different feelings to me, and this one felt like it needed some crumpled up ivory paper behind it. It needed another layer. So I did that to both of those cards. Let's move on to card number 4. This one cracks me up. I couldn't handle the teeth. You guys, I couldn't get past them. I couldn't handle them. So this unicorn had teeth and I cut them out. And I feel much better about it. So a little dental surgery there. And I'm kind of playing around with where I might put the butterfly. And I'm thinking about my background. I wanted to do something a little different. Now, I thought she would be really pretty with, like, she's dreaming of unicorns, kind of what I had in mind. But she wasn't going to fit on a card base unless I would have made an A9. Wish I would have thought of that when I was making these cards. So I'm thinking about my background, and I decided to do watercolor. Now, I think that this is lots of fun. Maybe I should have chosen different colors. So there, I'm using my mat to kind of figure out what size base. Guess what? It's a 5x7. Okay, so maybe I should have chosen different colors, but these are my graphite Kuretake, and I love them. They're very kind of grungy, beautiful. They're just beautiful to me. So I'm spraying a little water on my card, or this is watercolor cardstock. Can I talk? Watercolor paper. Canson XL. Okay, so I sprayed dots down and I'm putting watercolor in those dots. I wanted a little wet on wet for this because I really want these colors to spread. I think if I would have done these in bright colors, well, of course the results would have been different, and I think they would have been more well received. I don't know what you guys are thinking. You're going to have to let me know in the comments down below, but I know what my family said, and this card caused a riot of laughter, okay? So I made these cards one day after work, and which means our whole evening was different than normal. Like, we have a very routine family schedule around here. So I really broke it up by making some cards. And so then I wanted to show Dr. Shrub my cards. And I showed him in the order that I made them here. I always show you the cards in the order that I make them. And so I was showing him in the order. And I'm sorry, you might not be able to unsee this, but he thought the horse had an accident. The unicorn. Sorry. That's all, like, the first thing he saw when he saw this card was a messy accident. Okay, I could not stop laughing. Then, of course, the kids hear us cutting it up in the kitchen. I'm busting at the seams. And everyone proceeds to have a whole lot of fun making fun of this background. If I had done purple and pink and yellow or blue, I would have gotten a different response. But no, I used my graphite colors. And we got such a good laugh. So now you can't unsee it probably, and we'll just keep going. I did put some pink on the background. I used the foil again with the glue. That time I used the gilding glue from Finnabar. And I just wanted to use it and make it, I wanted to enhance the splatter. So I had used gold watercolor to add splatter, but then I wanted more splatter. So I did that, and then I stitched around. Let me tell you, my sewing machine, which is a heavy duty sewing machine, does not like watercolor paper. It does not want to feed it through, so beware. And now I'm wanting to add a happy birthday, because at this point in card making, I'm liking this card. I love these kind of backgrounds. I've been wanting to show y'all more of my kind of watercolor techniques, and this is one of them, to get puddles of watercolor on your paper, and then you can use a straw, you can use one of those puffers that were released for alcohol inks by Tim Holtz, but you can use them for other things. People buy the office supply ones that you're used to clean out your keyboard. Same thing, same puffer, same thing. Mine's Tim Holtz. But I love that technique. I've used it before. I just really love it. It's so funny what, like, as a maker, I'm in the groove loving this card. I go and show it to someone else, get their perspective, and now I can't unsee it. It's just hilarious. Okay. So I did stamp out on scrap paper this happy birthday sentiment, because at the time I'm thinking my daughter's birthday's coming up. She's going to need a birthday card. She wants unicorns to be the real deal. She loves them so much. But no, after that, so, she and my son come into the kitchen and they're looking at this card, and obviously I'm not going to give it to her. And then I tease them all. I was like, well, I know what y'all's birthday cards are going to look like this year. Oh, we had such a good time with this one. All right, so birthday sentiment done. I'm going to pop it up with some foam. And then I will bring in some of these beautiful gems. I love this rainbow. It's just gorgeous to me. And I'm going to put on 3-4 different colors. So I put on purple and blue and pink. I don't think I put on green, but I was considering it. Oh, I am not going to tell you what Dr. Shrub said next, okay? We're just going to keep it classy, all right? See, if you actually watch the whole video, you never know what we're going to talk about. When I sew on a card, I do love to put glue on the stitches. I just don't even have to worry about them ever coming apart once that glue has touched them and it's adhered down to the card base. So here she is, lovely. I love her flowers. I love the butterfly, I love the gems, and the technique of the background. Moving on, card number 5, the last one. You've almost made it to the end. Okay, I really liked the idea of using this piece, which again was just in the card, or it's not a card kit. It was in the kit, in the subscription kit, and this lovely fairy right here. So I'm gonna fussy cut her out and put her over that Fairy Wishes kind of advertisement, or I don't think it's an advertisement. It might be like, I don't know, the script, a book title page of a book. I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention, to be honest. I just liked it. Read the things I put on a card. Why would I do that? Okay, that chipboard also came in the kit, and I just needed to edit it down. This is going on a, say it with me, 5x7 card base. So I did need to edit it down a little bit to make sure it could fit. And then I'm actually going to use some of the pieces that I cut off to kind of make it more balanced and well-rounded. So that piece is not going to fit, but the other two pieces are. And I brought in my gesso. This is just a white basic gesso. I bought a huge container probably 7 years ago, if not longer, and I'm still using it. And it works great. So I'm just putting a light gesso. I still want some of the wood to show through. I just want it to look distressed, and I wanted to put a little gesso on it to kind of bring out the details and make it stand out a little more. It was blending too much with just the wood color. So then I will do that for these other little pieces that I'm going to put on it as well. This card was a lot of fun. You know, you can definitely tell, like, almost like with an athlete, you get warmed up, right? So like the first card, super simple, and hey, that's awesome, no problem there. But as I go, I start using more materials, incorporating them into the card. This is a fawn silk ribbon that came, it's from Blue Fern Studios, and it also came in the subscription box. And I've really just been wanting to use this. I think it's gorgeous, and I really wanted to use it. So I take it and border two sides of the background with it. I'm just using some double-sided tape here to help it stick and adhere down while I'm constructing everything, but then eventually I'll put glue on it as well, but only where the paper is. I don't want glue on the outside edges. That would be no bueno. So I'm so glad I incorporated this and I got to use it. I probably will put the rest, who knows, in a junk journal. But it just really softens the edges and is just beautiful. So I do trim off the edges here. And you could put that on all four edges. I just didn't feel like it was necessary. Now, this bag of goodies came in the box as well. It has an embossing powder, that diamond stickles, and then a ton of charms and embellishments. So I wanted to use them too. And I grab a silver one to put down in a corner, and a button that is a butterfly button that I thought just really went well with that patch of flowers down there. So I really like that. You know, I played around with different ideas, but it was the butterfly that won. It just worked perfectly. The colors and everything. So I used the stickles to add a little more to this piece, and I'm not filling the whole thing with stickles. I'm just kind of I'm squeezing out a very little amount and kind of spreading it around with the tip, with the nozzle of the stickles. And I'm getting a very thin, inconsistent kind of highlighter effect on these. And it was the perfect touch. when I showed this card to Dr. Schraub, he really loved that glittery effect. I put it, on these wooden pieces, and I also put it on the image of the fairy. I put it throughout the image. I put it on the butterfly. And so it really helped kind of tie everything together. It looks like the card has been dusted in fairy dust. But it won't come off. It's a beautiful thing. You guys are going to see this on Good Friday. I hope it is a Good Friday for you. I just realized that. It's going to be a very busy weekend. It has been an extremely busy week for me. And I'm just delighted I was actually able to get 3 videos done for you guys this week. Next week, it's going to be another interesting week because I don't have anything recorded and the weekend is jam-packed with holiday celebrations. On Saturday, we're doing volunteer stuff at the church for the egg hunt and the play that's being put on. And then, Sunday's Easter. So I'll just have to figure out how to fit in a little bit of crafting so that I'll have something for you here next week. I hope you guys, if you celebrate, will have a great one and that everyone stays healthy and happy and with a joyful heart. Okay. So I am just sticking her down with some foam tape, and yeah, of course, a little bit is showing behind this wing, so I have to fix it. Because I just stuck it down, I'm able to kind of roll up those edges and trim it off. Yay. Otherwise, that would have been awkward because I didn't have a plan to cover that up. Because I was going to stick these little pieces behind it. So I'm going to put one at the top and one at the side. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. I don't, you know me, I don't usually make them this long. It's kind of hard to sit down and do a voiceover for this long for me. But again, I filmed the process and I felt like it would be a loss to just edit it down so that it's a short video. Like, there's so much process here. I wanted you to have all of it. So maybe you have to break it up in chunks. Watch a little, come back to it, speed it up, put me on mute. But I do hope that you enjoyed it. So now I'm gluing down those pieces, and I really loved this. I don't even know what color of paper that is behind it. It's like a light turquoise color. And then I ruffled up a little bit of lace. That lace came in the kit too. And I'm going to glue that down. That straight edge at the bottom was really just kind of bothering me. And off camera, I was just like, what am I going to do with that bottom edge? Because all the other edges have interest and that one was just straight. So the lace really fixed that for me. This piece of paper, I'm going to rough up the edges. Now I have to be gentle with this one. I didn't want to tear it, and so I went gently around the edges. And we'll glue this down. I just love how this brightens the card so much and makes everything pop. It was just the right color, just the right touch, in my opinion. So now I'm gluing all this down, and you can tell I am putting glue on that silk ribbon there where the paper is, just to reinforce it. That is the 5th card. Of course, I'm going to show you all of them once again, like I love to do. But I love how it came together, and I did go ahead and bring out this gold twine just one more time to tie a bow to put on that button. And yeah, it seems like a lot of glue, but it dries clear and it won't even be noticeable. And if it was noticeable, guess what I'd do? I'd put a sequin on it, or I'd use the stickles, something like that, and it would be fine. But it doesn't show. Okay, you guys, so here it is, the 5 cards, 1 kit. I love these cards so much. And on the inside, I used that imagine sentiment, but I imagine that I'll be covering that up. To be honest, I'll probably stamp a different sentiment like magicals on the outside, birthday wishes on the inside or something, but I'm leaving that for now. Here are these 2 cards, which are like paternal twins. I love them so much. I don't know, it's hard to pick favorites, isn't it? But I definitely love this design. I really do. I just think it has so much interest. Like, it rewards looking, like you want to keep looking at it to figure it out, to see all the labels, or not labels, layers. And so I really love both of those cards. This hilarious card that none of us can unsee now, and it just cracks me up. And no, Sparkleheart does not want this for her birthday. That was made abundantly clear. But I love her, okay? And that is a fun watercolor technique. And then this lovely, oh, she is beautiful. That glue hadn't dried there yet, but I checked it this morning. It's definitely clear and you don't even see it. Look at all that stickles on everything, on the wings. So pretty. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. That was forever. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.